You've tweeted terrible news from Berlin, but no surprise. Events like these will be the Merkel legacy. Brendan Cox, the widower of Joe Cox, has tweeted, quotes, blaming politicians for the actions of extremists. That's a slippery slope, Nigel.
Yes, well, of course, he would know more about extremists than me, Mr. Cox. He backs organisations like Hope Not Hate, who masquerade as being lovely and peaceful, but actually pursue violent and very undemocratic means. And I'm sorry, Mr. Cox, but it is time people started to take responsibility for what's happened. Mrs. Merkel has directly caused a whole number of social and terrorist problems in Germany. It's about time we confronted that truth.
But she wasn't behind this 23-year-old man from Pakistan hijacking, killing the lorry driver and driving through the market.
Well, she supports Schengen as well, doesn't she? So he, you know,
it would appear he could have a truck in Poland.
Well, fine. Well, exactly. There we are. There's the point. You see that these leaders of Europe support Schengen. They support the total free movement of people without borders. And the free movement of people doesn't just mean the free movement of good people, it means the free movement of bad people as well.
But probably no one's been more on the receiving end than Brendan Cox of this sort of extremism, no?
Yes, and you know, it's a terrible thing what happened to his family with the murder of his wife, but he continues to be active in the political arena. And as I say, given some of the organisations that he supports, I can't just stand here and say, well, you know, I'm not going to respond. Whenever these terrible things happen, the response is, well, of course, it's no one's fault. No one's responsible. These things just happen. I'm sorry, and I know that I'll be condemned for it. But I think really in the case of Germany, we ought to be a little bit more straightforward. The facts as we know them is that it's a 23-year-old from Pakistan who came into Germany this February.
And was known to police for minor crimes.
Was already known.
Drugs,
I mean, you know, and I have to say, I'm not even sure why somebody from Pakistan qualifies as a refugee, as opposed to being more of an economic migrant. But let's be honest about this. You know, Mrs. Merkel made one of the worst policy decisions we've seen from a European politician in the last 70 years, when she unconditionally said in the middle of 2015, as many as want to come, can come. And there was no vetting, there was no checking, and there were people like me standing up for months ahead of that, saying we should not let our compassion imperil our safety and indeed our civilization. And I think, frankly, people like Mrs. Merkel ought to take responsibility for what's happened.
But there is a real and genuine threat. When ISIS say they want to flood our continent with 500,000 Islamic extremists, they mean it. And there is nothing in this document that will stop those people from coming. Indeed, I fear we face a direct threat to our civilization if we allow large numbers of people from that war-torn region into Europe.